Well, that's good. Moving on, there's this woman who will stay. Her name is Katie Ginella,
Okay.
Ginella. Katie Ginella. What do you got any feelings about her?
She is hyperly power driven. This woman is successful. She's beautiful. She wants to maintain power. She's very eager to get there. She can be very, I don't want to sound negative, but like she can be very egotistical. She can be very callous. She can be very, like, hate to use the word when it comes to a woman, but she can be very calculating. You know what I mean? She can be very strategic to get what she needs. So I don't know if that's who she is, but like that's what I'm picking up. I just feel a woman she's got a plan, you know, and you don't mess with her plan, you know. She is, I mean, she's like a thunderbolt. She is strong as all. Like everything up front is strong. If we look at the nitty-gritty with her inside, she has a lot of anxiety. Okay. She's kind of a pick your poison type of gal. Okay, you know what I mean? So she can go a little heavy on the alcohol or a little heavy on this, you know what I mean? To like cover up. She's got a very big roar, like I came out with. But I feel like there's a lot of things inside with her where she just wants to be loved. She just wants to be adored. She wants to be not the center of attention, but she wants to be appreciated. She wants to be nominated. She wants to be seen. She doesn't have to be like, here I am, but she needs to be acknowledged, you know?
Yeah.
She's she's got a lot of I feel like she kind of came in a little too strong with something and almost like slammed into a wall. Now she has to kind of like backstep and be like, I kind of overdid things that I didn't do things right. And now she's trying to hypercorrect.
Well,
It's a very thing, hypercorrect.
that resonates. So she's on the Real Housewives of Orange County. She just had, I
Oh,
mean, the show itself is in its 19th season. It's her second season.
hmm.
She might have come in. She came in strong last year. I had heard some rumors this season that she was coming in really strong from like a very reliable source, like that she came in with like an agenda to go after two certain people, this woman
Oh,
named Heather and this woman named Gina. Strangely, she's had the rumor is so they just had a cast trip. That's like how the season ends. They go on a cast trip. She was not on the cast trip. Now, normally when you're not on the cast trip, there's like a pretty egregious reason why. Do you see anything around that? And then I could throw out this other woman's name, Emily Simpson. That's who she had the rumor is the most issues with, even though she came in gunning for this woman named Heather and Gina. It's Emily and her that have had a pretty rough season together.
I feel like her and Emily, I don't feel like she didn't go on this cast trip intentionally.
You
I feel
think
like that was her.
she wanted to go?
I feel like she wanted to not go because
Oh,
like I honestly feel like she was like, no. You know what I mean? I feel like she had to like kind of take a step back from things intentionally because it was one of those things where she was prepared to go and then she was just like, screw this. Ugh. And I feel like that was kind of something that maybe like I told you, she had little regrets about doing. I think she should have gone, but I really tell you, I feel like her and Emily may have had it out because there's a lot of off-camera things with her and Emily, even though she came in gunning for the other two. Heather Gina, I feel like that's a very mild drama. Like I feel like her and Emily have like this very it's beyond contentious. I don't even know if there's like a word for it, but it's like imagine two emperors like wanting people to fight their battles, but they're doing it themselves. Like they're not getting support on it's just weird. But I feel like she's like, I'm not going, and she was very stubborn for the moment, and then was like, ooh. I don't feel like she was asked to sit out. I feel like she didn't go because she was just, no, I'm not doing this. You know what I mean? Like, and then now she's like, shoot, I need to get back on the show. I want to be on the show, you know? Producers didn't mind so much because it does get a lot of circulated truths. But I also know that maybe she could be, um, like I said, excessive, maybe alcoholism or drinking or something like that. She could be trying to take care of herself too as well, but I feel like she didn't go because of stubbornness and then regretted it,
like she
you know?
did nothing. Like they told her not to go. You did this, you did that. She just didn't want to go on her own.
I feel like, yeah, I feel like she like stood her ground. I feel like it was her way of just saying F this, like, you know what I mean? She's got a couple of cast members gunning for her. I feel like she's also got like a couple other things going on like, because I keep hearing like peripheral like scandal things, and she's trying to clear her name. You know what I mean? So she had all this other pressure, and she's just like feeling like she's fighting a battle on her own. So, like I said, there's this like anxious person inside her, you know? So she didn't go.
Do you
So
think, even though you say producers might have liked this, because yes, it did get a lot of pickup in the press, like what is the, you cannot go and this, the season's over now. That doesn't mean like she's not coming back next season. We have a long way to go. We have to edit this, air the whole season. I mean,
yes,
whether she
exactly.
comes back or not is like a good, 9 months away. But do you think this will affect her future on the show?
I feel like it will definitely it definitely doesn't help, but I don't feel like I keep hearing reoccurring, so I do feel like she's coming back. I don't feel like it's going to hinder her. You know what I mean? I definitely feel like it might not have been the smartest thing for her to do, but at the same time, scandal causes drama, which causes viewers. So, like, you know what I mean? So it's just added drama. She is not, she's, she's working on trying to get better. I see a lot of healing with her, like really trying to desperately, like, I feel like this last year and a half or the last two seasons really kind of got away from her. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
also feel like she's not a huge fan of being a villain. You know? She wants to be
Yeah.
respected, you don't respect the villain. So I think everything just kind of overwhelmed her and she got swept up, you know? She's incredibly strong, but we all get fragile in those moments. And so that's where she kind of is right now, but I still feel reoccurring. I see her back on the show.
You see her
You
back.
know?
Well,
I
yeah,
do.
I mean, look, you have no control over your edit. That's the one thing she probably has learned. Like, and she will have no control if she stays with the show, which you seem to say she will. So, I mean, she needs to somehow look, if it's Real Housewives is not for everyone. Everyone comes in with a plan and you have no control over it. You will say one word and they will edit it a certain way and they will decide very early on if you're getting a villain edit or a kind edit, and it just is what it
Yep.
is. You really probably did nothing wrong, maybe, and just that you're the villain this season. That's it.
Yeah, and I think it kind of like it like mutated her into like her private life too and how she responds to things and like made things a little bit more like where she was more like you know, popping off on things where she would normally think about things and plan things and calculate things and do those things. You know what I mean? So this kind of made her a little bit of a loose trigger. So I feel like she'll accept the idea of the villain to keep being seen. Because remember, at the end of the day, she just wants to be seen. She wants to be, she doesn't want to be characterized as an evil person. But then I feel like it also kind of like is daunting how and trying to make her life outside not seem villainous. You know what I mean? So maybe that's why she's working on herself because I feel like she kind of went with the villain thing and then ran with it and was like, oh no. And that's where she's hypercorrecting, you
She's
know?
hypercorrecting. Interesting. Well, it's going to be an interesting season.
Yes.
Let's move on to this woman. Her name is Meredith Marks.
Okay, okay.
What are you feeling
Is
about Meredith?
Meredith is like she is another intensely strong person. I feel like she can be a very good team player. She definitely likes the idea of the soulmate. Like she has a lot of like spiritual nature to her, but she's also at the same time she can be very like vindictive.